Right, Tilsworth?
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Tilsworth? I changed the holiday roster around. Carsten wants to go away in July. I swapped you with him late September. That's all right, isn't it? You don't go anywhere special.
No, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Check those returns for me, will you, Tilly? There's a good chap. I'm in a bit of a rush. Meeting some friends of mine for a drink. No good inviting you, I suppose?
No, thank you.
Go on, do you good.
No, I can't, actually. I'm dining out.
Dining out? Oh, what social madness is this? Where will it be, the Ritz or the Savoy? Yes, that's it, the Savoy Grill. Definitely you. And, of course, they know you so well. I must remember to mention your name next time I'm there.
Savoy Grill? I want to book a table for tonight, please.
I really don't understand all this, Mr. Shoesmith. We've already conducted our own investigation.
Just double-checking, Mr. Anson.
Yes, I know. Head office told me to expect to, all the same. You know, no one's employed at our bank without the most thorough investigation.
I don't doubt that, Mr. Anson.
And you look at the files, you see that all our employees have the highest possible reference.
Yes. But even these can be faked.
What?
I'm not suggesting for one moment that they are, but, well, we like to be sure.
Well, I find the whole procedure unusual, to say the least.
But necessary if you want the Barker account, and you do want it.
Well, of course.
Well, Barker's an American company, and sometimes they operate differently to us.
Obviously.
Try and see it from their point of view. You'll be handling all their finances. Payroll, accounting, the lot.
Yes, but surely with the bank of our reputation.
Ah, but it isn't the bank they doubt, Mr. Anson. It's those fallible human beings out there. Before Barker's place their contract into your hands, they want each individual member checked, cleared, and insured against possible larceny.
Yes. It still seems to me a very odd way of doing business.
Not to them. Fidelity bonds are commonplace in America.
Yes. I see. Uh-huh. Security suggested we should install that. Another American idea.
Would you like to point out your staff to me? These are all very fine, but it helps to know what they look like.
Well, that's Gerald Bates there. Behind him is Hodges, then Miss Pryor, Mrs. Patchett. Next to Bates is Harold Tilsworth. He's been with us, nearly 15 years now. Ought to have been a chief clerk by now, but, well, not quite the right material. A plodder, you know. Well, what exactly will you do next?
Oh, just a few general inquiries. Where they live, who their friends are, you know, that sort of thing.
I suppose you're used to doing this.
Well, it comes up once in a while.
Yes. Funny sort of job, isn't it?
Thank you for your help, Mr. Anson.
You'll want to leave this way.
Ah, who is it? Oh, Ian, you're fat. Did you have a good time?
Oh, marvelous. food, weather, snow was crisp, the sun was shining.
Shut
Great.
up. I don't want to hear. You're all in one piece, that's
So
right.
far. The granddaddy of a fall yesterday, though.
Oh, too bad. Not serious, I hope.
Oh, very. I shan't be able to ride my bicycle for a week or so. Oh, I got something for you.
You have? How
Yep.
marvellous.
Look at this.
This is a
How
cooking
thoughtful I
class.
was. Lovely. Oh, that, eh?
Super. I've
Lovely.
always wanted one of
Oh,
those.
Bob.
Yeah, and you're back. Well, you look very well. Have a good time.
Well, I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, I see. Like that, is it?
How things been here, eh?
Oh, busy, busy, busy. What have you got there?
Well, it's a clockwork poodle, can't you see?
Lucky girl. Does it work?
Well, let's see. Of
course.
Very good.
Come back.
You ought to have a longer tail.
It's been clipped, my dear.
Yes, isn't it?
Yes, all right. Well, Heather, can you spare me a minute, do you think, Heather? Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I have to check on all the employees at Wentworth Bank. And I can handle all the inquiries save this one, Gerald Bates. Now, he lives at the same address as a colleague of his, Harold Tilsworth, and I don't want them comparing notes. So, will you find out all you can about him without actually going to the
Right.
house, all right?
Yes.
You know the form. It's just generalities. Confirm that he's honest, upright, sober. You know the thing.
Trouble?
Trouble? What's that? No. Just routine. Fidelity bonds, actually.
Now,
all right,
Bob.
all right. I know your views on the subject, but this is good business with a fat fee.
Yeah, for prying into people's private lives.
It's just being thorough, Ian. Thorough and efficient.
Is it? Well, I find it distasteful and underhand. It's an invasion of privacy. Surprised you took the case on. And frankly, Bob, I don't like doing it.
You're not doing it, are you? It's in my lap. I'll be out all day covering these people.
Right.
I bought it for him, robot.
Up and white my lasses, letting in the morning breeze. All right, that is telling, oh, happy stories to the flowers. And all right, I'm coming, trees, that is, oh, dear. Oh, what do you want down there?
Mrs. Bolland.
That's right.
Yes, well, I'm making some inquiries on behalf of a firm of insurance, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may.
What kind of question?
Well, they're about one of your tenants here, Tilsworth, Harold Tilsworth.
Oh, what's he done?
Nothing at all, as far as I know, Mrs. Bolland. It's just that he's involved in a very important insurance deal, and, well, my company would like to make sure that he's a good risk.
Oh.
Of course, you don't have to answer my questions if you don't want to.
Well, I don't see why not. I mean, there's nothing bad I can tell you about him. He's the best tenant I have. What was it you wanted to know, Mr.
Well, a few general things. His friends, for instance. Does he have many?
Well, none as far as I know. Of course, he used to be out and about a bit with the local dramatic society, quite keen on it for a time. But nowadays, any spare time he has, he devotes to his aunt.
Oh?
Oh, now that should tell you something about his character. I mean, it's so rare nowadays, but he just dotes on this aunt of his.
I see. He doesn't have any women friends, then?
Oh, no, not Mr. Tilsworth. Very shy man. Frankly, well, actually, he's a bit of a crank. But a nice one, mind you. I mean, he's not much of a man to look at, but he likes to think he's keeping fit. He's out on that bark of his almost every night.
Does he drink?
Good gracious, no.
I imagine he pays his bills.
On the dot. Just a quite considerate man, very considerate. When he comes in late, he always takes great care not to disturb anybody.
I imagine that doesn't happen very often.
Well, practically every night. Out until 2 and 3 in the morning.
What?
Ah, yes, but like I said, he always goes to great trouble to see that no one's disturbed.
But where does he go to until that time?
Well, to see his aunt, I suppose.
Until the early hours? Doesn't it strike you as being a little unusual?
Oh, no, not with Mr. Tilsworth, no. Like I told you, he's eccentric.
Oh, he's a nutcase. What's all this about Tilly, then?
Well, this gentleman's just been asking me a few questions. This is Mr. Bates, another of my tenants.
Why are the questions?
Oh, just a few inquiries concerning some insurance guarantees, that's all. Thank you very much for your help, Mrs. Bolland. Good day.
Well... Did he say which company he worked for?
No. Here. You don't think he was lying, do you?
Perhaps. I bet even money he was a copper. I wonder what Tilly's been up to.
Oh.
For Pete's sake, Bob, the landlady told you he was eccentric. All right, he takes long bicycle runs. Why get steamed up about that? Look, Bob, some people go swimming in December and they break the ice to do so. You know what these keep-fit cranks can be like.
That's it. That's the inconsistency. Keep fit. Now, what does that suggest? Healthy exercise, brisk activity, early to bed.
Bob.
Hillsworth stays out until the early hours of the morning. Now, why?
Well, he doesn't have to have a reason.
For me, he does.
Well, perhaps he just likes doing it. Isn't that good enough?
It's out of character.
Look, Tilsworth is a quiet little fellow, isn't he?
Yes, yes.
Would you say he's the kind who seeks solitude?
Possibly.
Well, Bob, it's very quiet in the early hours of the morning.
Perhaps you're right.
Of course I am. You can't deny Tilsworth a clean bill of health just because he doesn't happen to conform to your reasoning. Have all the others been cleared?
Yes.
Well, look, put in your report and let's get shot of this case.
I don't know. There's something still bothers me. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm sure.
You want to find something out about him.
The truth is all I want.
Look, you've got it. They're all certified, honest, upright, and free from infection. Now, what more do you want?
I don't know, but there's something. I don't know what it is.
Oh, Bob, sometimes you bother me. Chuntering about like an old mother hen.
That's it. The aunt. There, now what does it say there?
Harold Tilsworth.
No, there.
Next of kin, no surviving relatives.
He has no surviving relatives, and yet he's devoted to his aunt.
Well, she doesn't have to be related to him. She could be some old family friend. Somebody just happens to call auntie.
One inconsistency I can swallow, not two. Heather?
Yes?
Hold the report on the Wentworth staff.
Right.
I'm going to find out about Auntie.
Going out again, Mr. Tilsworth?
Yes?
Until quite late again, I expect. I often wonder what you get up to. Some secret girlfriend, perhaps.
Good night, Mrs. Boland.
Good night.
I'll be very quiet when I come in.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Terribly sorry. Thank you.
Mrs. Bolland?
What has he done? I hope it's nothing dreadful. I don't want any scandal, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, you're some sort of a policeman, aren't you? Well, Mr. Bates thinks you are. Well, are you?
I was, yes.
I thought so. Oh, Mr. Tilsworth of all people. Of course, these repressed types are always the most dangerous, you know.
Mrs. Bolland, he's done nothing that I know of.
Oh.
This is still a very routine inquiry concerning insurance.
Oh.
I wanted to ask you some more questions about his aunt.
Well, I told you all I know.
Her name, for instance?
Well, he just calls her auntie.
Oh, what does she look like?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen
But
her.
I thought you said
Well,
that-
she's never been here. I've just heard him talking to her on the phone.
I see. Do you have Mr. Tilsworth's rent book?
Well, of course I do.
And does he make the entries himself?
Yes, I like all my tenants.
Could I see it, please? The rent book.
Well, if you must.
Thank you.
Here it is. There.
Thank you. Yes, now let's see. Now, we may be lucky.
Lucky? Here, what are you on about?
Yes, that's the same.
Oh, don't mind me. Help yourself.
Do you happen to have 4 pennies, Mrs. Bolland, please?
Liberty Hall, this is Liberty Hall.
Suit and Shoes, Miss Limited? Oh, yes, Bob. What is it?
Oh, Heather, I want you to find the addresses of 2 telephone numbers. Now, the first one is Park 0192. Got that? And the next is Hampstead 11110, or it could be a 9. Anyway, check them both, will you? Right, thank you. No. I'll ring you back.
Suit and Shoes, Miss Limited? Oh, yes, Bob. I have checked those phone numbers you asked about. Yes. Now, Hampstead 1110 is discontinued. It's a private hotel that closed down a few months ago. Hampstead 1119 is a private number. The subscriber is a woman named Sturgis. And the park number is a Macy's garage.
How can I help you, sir?
Oh, well, yes, thank you. I'm looking for Mr. Tilsworth's car.
Well, this is it, sir. We fitted the locks he wanted, made a very good job of it and all. Are you collecting a car for him, sir?
Well, no, not exactly. I was thinking of buying one like it, and they told me at the desk that Mr. Tilsworth had one. Do you mind if I look inside?
Help yourself, sir.
Sure.
They're quite a car. Bit pricey, of course. Heavy on the juice. Cost a bit to run.
Yes. Still, I suppose that Mr. Tilsworth can afford it.
Afford it? I should think so. Generous bloke he is.
Does he use it a great deal?
Almost every evening.
Long runs?
I wouldn't know that, sir. But you could ask him yourself. Here he is. Mr. Tilsworth! Mr. Tilsworth, over here, sir.
Evening. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I admit it's strange.
Strange? Well, that's the understatement of the year. Oh, come off it, Ian. I told you I had a feeling
Yes,
about
you
this
did.
one. And I was right.
Well, there's possibly some perfectly reasonable explanation.
Reasonable. Name one.
Well, perhaps his auntie gives him money.
What auntie? Oh, look, we've been through all that. I tell you, it shook me rigid when he walked into that garage. You never saw such a change in a man. And he's driving a spanking new car. Now, why should he conceal that, Ian? Why?
Don't ask me.
Because he's up to something.
No idea where he went last night.
No. By the time I got to my car, he'd gone. But he was back this morning, mousy as ever, and wheeling his bicycle. A bank clerk tossing money around. Heather,
Yeah?
will you get Miss Ranson on the phone?
Mr. Ransom, who's that?
Manager of Wentworth Bank.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Take this with you, will you? I'm going to have that bank checked from top to bottom. A snap audit. I want every account that Tilsworth's ever worked on gone through with a fine-tooth comb. Every time he picks up his pen, I want to know about
Well,
it.
that means every single other employee in that bank will know there's something else.
So?
Well, if he's innocent, it's a bit unfair.
Look, Tilsworth's getting big money from somewhere, isn't he? And he works in a bank. 1 and 1 make 2. That's good arithmetic.
Oh, I suppose it all adds up.
Well, an audit will show us for sure.
Mr. Anson's on the line.
Hello, Mr. Anson. Yes. Look, I've got a pretty big task for you. My partner knows all about it and will explain all the details to you. Ian, would you mind? Look, I have to go out. Oh, Heather. Look, you know that Hampstead address, telephone number?
Yes, Sturgis, 24 Willow Drive.
24 Willow Drive, I think. Oh, by the way, Tilsworth paid for his car by cheque, drawn against the Carmarthen Bank City branch. Will you phone our pet banker and see what he can find out
Yes.
for us? Hmm?
Okay.
Sturgis, you said?
Yes, 24 Willow Drive. At least I think it's 24 Willow Drive. 24 Willow Drive? Swallow Drive. Oh, 24 Willow Drive. Thank heavens for that. I'm always sending him off to the wrong address.
But I still don't quite understand what this is all about, Mr. Shoesmith. Perhaps you could make it a little clearer. An insurance investigation. Yes. On whose behalf?
Indirectly, the Wentworth Bank. You've heard of them?
Yes, of course. Please do.
Oh, thank you.
But I still don't see what that has to do with me.
Well, Miss Grainer, you said that a Miss Sturgis lives here.
Yes, that's right.
Well, this may concern her. Well, I'd like to speak to her, if I may.
Oh, well, no, I'm afraid that's impossible.
Oh?
No, you see, she had a bad fall just over a year ago and has been desperately ill ever since. She's not allowed any visitors.
Oh, but surely, I mean, well, just for a few moments.
No, I'm sorry. And it wouldn't do any good. She's under sedation most of the time and really doesn't make much sense anymore.
I see. I'm very sorry.
Well, it's to be expected at her age, I suppose. But Aunt Elizabeth must be nearly 70 by now.
Aunt? Miss Sturgis is your aunt?
Yes?
Miss Grainer, does she have any other living relatives?
Oh, a sister somewhere in Canada.
Not a nephew, Harold?
No.
Harold Tilsworth. Have you ever heard that name before?
No.
Your aunt has never mentioned him to you?
No, Mr. Shoesmith. Is it important?
No. No, not if you don't know him. Well, I'm sorry to have bothered you, Miss Grainer.
Not at all. Goodbye.
A bit unusual, isn't it, Tilly? A sudden audit halfway through the year. Do you think something's up?
Oh, no, it's happened before. Probably expecting a visit from a bank inspector.
Or some other kind of inspector?
Yeah.
What did the old man say to you?
Check the last month's figures.
Didn't tell you why?
No.
Nor me. But I think it's got something to do with Tilly.
How?
I don't know, something. He's been taking work home.
Come on. No, come on. No.
Mr. Bates,
Yes, Mr. Anson.
I want you to go through all checks cashed here today as soon as we close.
Oh, but Tilly, Mr. Tilsworth always does that, sir.
Yes, so I want you to do it as well, a double check, and keep it yourself, you know?
What did I tell you? It has got something to do with Tilly.
Bothersome. Bottle. Bottom. Botulism. Boudoir.
What on earth are you at?
Bougainvillea. It's supposed to open on a certain word. Very ingenious. I've been going through the dictionary, but haven't found it yet.
I can think of a word.
No, thanks. Any luck, by the way?
No. I thought I was onto something. A niece with an old aunt, but they've never heard of Tilsworth.
Well, the Carmarthen
Wow.
Bank have. And he does have an account there.
What's the score?
£15,000. But it jumps every week.
Are you sure?
Yes. He opened an account there about 4 months ago with £1,000. And since then he's been making regular payments almost every week, each Friday £1,000.
I take it we have no further doubts about Mr. Tilsworth.
Well, he must be milking the bank.
Well, this audit will tell us just how. We ought to be about finished by now. I think I'll pop over and see.
Well, I'll come with you.
Vindicated?
Nope.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. There are the facts and the figures. Not a single discrepancy. Everything tallies, everything in order. Even the post account. Not a threepenny stamp unaccounted for. Mind you, I never expected anything else. Our accounting system here is above reproach.
But the money, the car.
Well, Tilsworth certainly isn't embezzling our money.
There must be some explanation for it. Are you absolutely sure there's no chance of a mistake?
Absolutely.
£1,000 every week. And he's driving a Rolls Royce. Now, why should he conceal that fact?
Well, let's ask him. Let's have him in here and ask him. That seems to be the logical thing to do, doesn't it? I take it you want to find out why your clerk's leading a double life?
No, of course.
Is tipping him off?
About what? We've proved no larceny. All we've done is suspect and surmise. It's about time he had a chance to defend himself.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Souter.
Oh, very well. Call him in.
Mr. Tilsworth, would you come in, please? Yes, sit down, Tilsworth. These gentlemen want to ask you some questions.
Do you know what a fidelity bond is, Mr. Tilsworth?
Yes?
Well, it's to do with that. Well, my name's Souter. This is my partner, Robert Shoesmith. We've been asked along here to make some investigations about the staff.
You have £15,000 in an account at the Carmarthen Bank, Mr. Tilsworth. Well? Well, what? You admit it?
Well, naturally.
You're not going to try and tell us that you've saved that amount.
Well, no, you wouldn't believe that. Also, it wouldn't be true. Didn't I see you the other day at my place? Have you been following me?
I should like an explanation.
Bob. Mr. Tilsworth, you run a car.
Yes.
A Rolls Royce.
Yes.
Well, it's a very expensive car.
Oh, very. I've always promised myself the best.
Tilsworth, do you mean you admit all these charges?
Yes, sir. Oh, I know this must be a bit of a shock to you, sir, on my salary. But you see, it wasn't on my salary. I came into money quite unexpectedly. Aunt of mine died.
You'll have to do better than that. According to your character reference, you have no surviving relatives, remember?
It was strange. It was like a miracle, really. Shall I? Well, one day, not so long ago, I had a letter through the post, solicitors, and they told me about my Aunt Paula. Well, the funny thing was, I didn't even know I had an Aunt Paula. Well, she was a great aunt, really, on my mother's side, but I never ever met her, you see, until recently. She was very ill, and eventually she died, leaving me her entire fortune. I always thought I'd no relatives at all, you see.
£1,000 is paid into your account every week.
Oh, yes, well, that's the arrangement. The estate's quite vast, you see. It's quite vast. Still being wound up. And the solicitors asked me if I wanted any money right away. Well, of course I did. I mean, I always have. So they arranged to start paying me piecemeal, £1,000 a week each week. It's more than I've earned in a year before.
But, Tilsworth, what I don't understand is that I don't want to pry, but why have you never mentioned this to anyone?
Oh, I wanted to, Mr. Anson. I was so excited at first. And then I thought, well, it wouldn't do for any of the other clerks to know, would it? I mean, it would be disturbing, to say the least. What I mean is it might have affected the bank. And I've always had the bank's interests very much at heart. You know, so I decided to keep quiet. Not only that, I've read so many stories about people being changed by sudden money and made unhappy by it. And I thought about it very carefully, and I thought, well, it's got to be gradual, I said. I must give myself time to get used to it. That's why I didn't move. That's why I still try to do the same things, like, well, going out on my bicycle, watching the pennies. But I couldn't resist a few luxuries. Spoiling myself. That's why I bought the car. I started to go out and enjoy myself. Even went to a nightclub.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tilsworth.
Mr. Anson, I'm sorry if I've caused you any trouble over this. I assure you I didn't mean
My
to.
dear Tilsworth, my dear chap. That's perfectly all right. Thank you for telling us.
I didn't mean to be deceitful. You understand? I just didn't want the bank affected in any way.
I understand.
Is that all, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Tilsworth, those solicitors who contacted you, could I have their name and address?
Oh, really, Mr. Shoesmith, don't you think this has gone far enough?
Yes, it has, Bob. That'll do.
Mr. Anson, I hope this isn't going to affect my position here. What I mean is I'm very happy here.
Now, don't worry. You won't be bothered again.
Well, we won't keep you, Mr. Anson. My partner will be putting in a negative report about all the staff here.
I never doubted otherwise. Yes, Bates?
You wanted me to verify them, sir.
What?
All checks passed through today. You said...
Oh, yes, so that's all right. It won't be necessary now.
Only there have been a couple of big ones. Hoskins and Sturgis.
I said it's all right, Bates.
Did you say Sturgis?
Yes. Miss Elizabeth Sturgis.
Do you have it there? Who accepted this check?
Mr. Toolsworth.
£1,000 in cash, and today is Friday.
Well, that could be a mere coincidence.
Is it? Miss Elizabeth Sturgis is the woman I tried to see earlier today.
So what does that prove?
Is Miss Sturgis known to you?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. A very old customer, but I haven't seen her for some time, though.
Why?
Well, she's not as young as she was. She doesn't get around very much nowadays.
Especially since her accident.
What?
You remember, sir, she had a bad accident about 4 months ago. It broke her arm.
Oh, yes, that's right. We had to send someone out to see her, but really, Mr. Shoesmith...
Why did you send someone out to see her?
Well, she telephoned and, as a result of her accident, her signature was affected. She was confined to bed and we had to confirm the new signature.
Who did you send, Mr. Hanson?
Tilsworth.
What is the extent of Miss Sturgis's account?
Well, I don't remember the exact figure.
About £80,000 in round figures.
Thank you, Bates. You can go now.
Well?
Ready to run these through? Jerry? The credit account.
Oh, sure.
Not those here. What's up with you?
There'd be a reward in it, wouldn't there?
What?
If someone were fiddling the bank and I found them out, there'd be a reward in it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, this is beginning to amount to persecution.
I tell you, that man is up to something.
For Pete's sake, what? We faced him with it and he came out with a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Oh, reasonable, clever, glib, well thought out.
Well, he convinced me. For my money, he was telling the truth.
Yes, but you don't bank at Wentworth, do you?
No.
Well, then it's not your money concerned, is it? Look, you saw him.
Yes, a poor little mouse of a fellow.
Exactly. Passed over, pushed around all his life. And suddenly he inherits a fortune. Now, what would you expect a man like that to do? I know what I'd expect him to do. Push 2 fingers up at the bank. Thank you very much. Kiss my ankles and goodbye. What man in his position could resist an opportunity like that? But our Mr. Tilsworth does.
He's different.
Yes, he plans ahead.
Plans? What on earth do you think he's up to?
I'll try a shrewd guess. When Miss Sturgis injured her arm 4 months ago, Tilsworth was sent down by the bank to verify her new signature. And very soon afterwards, he starts to inherit.
Well, that doesn't tell me what he's up to.
Yeah, Miss Sturgis is getting on in years, probably a bit addled by her accident. So she's vulnerable to sweet talk, extortion, blackmail, fraud. I'm convinced that Tilsworth is putting some kind of squeeze on the old lady. Heather?
Yes?
Look, will you call Jill Grainer for me?
Right.
Tell her that it's imperative that I see her aunt right away.
All right.
Tell her it's either me or the police.
Really, Bob, when it comes to putting the squeeze on, Tilsworth could learn a lot from you, couldn't he?
Look, I'm not in this business to dispense sunshine and flowers.
Well, suppose he bites back. Suppose he slaps a lawsuit on us.
I'll take that chance.
Oh, really, Bob, it's time you started behaving like a reasonable human being instead of a...
All right, go on, say it. Copper's the word, isn't it? Yes, I was a copper, and I still think like one.
Bob, I can't get any reply from that Hampstead number.
Oh. Well, try again later, will you? Although there ought to be somebody there.
mean any harm. I want to help you. I want to help you against Dillsworth. Tell me what he's doing to you. I know he's getting money from you. Well, we can stop him. And that would be good for both of us. Wouldn't it, Miss Sturgis? There's no need to be frightened of me, Miss Sturgis. Not of me.
Your secretary said it was important, but I suppose you know what time it is.
Yes, I'm sorry. We did try to call you earlier.
Yes, well, I was out. Please do sit down. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Going out, leaving my aunt alone. When she's under sedation, it really makes very little difference.
Is she asleep now?
Well, the effects of the last injection should just about be wearing off.
Oh, then I can speak to her. She's, compos mentis.
No, she's never quite that. I told you, after her accident...
Yes, but I can speak to her.
Perhaps. But you'll have to persuade me that it's really as important as you say it is. Her doctors have strictly forbidden any visitors at all.
The theft of her money, Miss Grainer. Is that important enough?
Oh. Would you like a drink?
No, thank you. You remember I mentioned a man named Harold Tilsworth?
Yes.
You said that you'd never heard of him.
That's right. I still haven't heard of him.
But he has been here.
Oh?
When your aunt injured her arm, the bank sent someone down to verify her new signature.
That's right. Strange little man. Painfully shy. He was Tilsworth?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
I imagine he saw your aunt, spoke to her at the time.
Oh, yes. In fact, they spent some time together. While he was here, I think she wanted him to attend to some of her investments.
Were they alone together?
Yes. Oh, I wish you'd get to the point, Mr. Shoesmith.
It's simple. I think that Tilsworth is trying to influence your aunt in some way, perhaps even frightening her.
Oh, for what purpose?
To force her to give him money. Now, you understand why I must see her.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Yes, well, her room is just along the passage. No, would you give me a moment to prepare her, please? You'll be here in a minute. Come in. She's awake, but very weak. Aunt Elizabeth, this is the gentleman I was telling you about.
I'm sorry to disturb you like this, Miss Sturgis, but I want to ask you about Harold Tilsworth. Do you remember him? When he was here last, did he make any promises to you? Did he say, for instance, that he would look after your affairs?
No.
Well, did he try to scare you at all? What did he say to you?
He wanted me to write my name.
Yes, I know about that. But what else?
Nothing.
There must have been something else.
No.
Think carefully, Miss Sturgis.
No.
Look, I only want to help you if there's
Really,
anything...
Mr. Shoesmith, you've got your answer. I can't allow any more. Don't worry.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Miss Grainer.
He's gone now. Don't worry.
Flatter, flatulent, flaunt, flautist, flavor, oh dear, flaw, flax.
Have you tried the word idiot on that thing? Or headstrong, or dogmatic, or plain ruddy stupid?
Play.
You were right, Ian. I saw Miss Sturgis. I spoke to her. I bust into an old lady's sick room and extorted information from her.
Oh, that's putting it a bit strongly, surely, isn't it?
Well, the principle's the same. Heather, there's my report, completely clearing Tilsworth of any suspicion. Get it typed up, will you?
Yes.
Let's face it, you might have been right.
No.
Well, there's no point in blaming yourself for being thorough, is there?
I was behaving like a copper, Ian. You were right about that, too.
Oh, we both got a bit shirty, didn't we?
Oh. Suppose we'd better do another copy for the bank. I don't want Tilsworth under a cloud with his manager.
All right.
Would you drop by with it later, Ian? Frankly, I'd feel a bit of a fool going back there now.
All right, I will do.
Right, now, what does the day hold for the chastened shoesmith?
An enormous pile of letters.
Of course.
2 appointments for this afternoon and a date for dinner this evening with Lady...
Oh.
You can cancel that for a start. She probably wants me to accompany her poodle to Walla Walla and a tame alligator to Timbuktu. What, you know? Timbuktu.
Are you sure, Mrs. Bolland? Well, he didn't say where he was going. No. All right, thank you. Goodbye.
I'm extremely glad the whole thing's ended like this, Mr. Souter.
Well, I'm just glad it's ended.
And thank you for bringing this over yourself.
Oh, that was my partner's idea. He thought he ought to make amends, you know.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes, Betty.
It's about Mr. Bates, sir. He hasn't been in all day.
Yes, I heard. You know, it's too bad when people are taken ill and can't be bothered to phone.
But that's just it, sir. He isn't ill. Well, not as far as his landlady knows anyway. I've just called her. She says Jerry hasn't been home all night.
Oh?
I think it has something to do with Mr. Tilsworth.
What do you mean?
Well, Betty?
Well, perhaps I oughtn't to say.
Say what?
Well, Jerry Bates said that he said he was going to check up on Mr. Tilsworth.
Well, when did he say this?
Yesterday. He knew there was something going on, and he thought there might be a reward in it if he found out before the police.
Oh, melodramatic nonsense. Thank you, Betty. That'll be all.
Have you spoken to Tilsworth about this yet?
No, I didn't like to.
Oh, let's ask him, shall we?
He's gone. He went a few moments ago.
Oh, this business, it snowballs with gossip. Betty, I forbid you to repeat this. This fiction.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I'll call in and see Tilsworth on my way home. Now, will that set your mind at rest?
Good. Heather, who the devil's this letter from? It's got a signature like a doctor's prescription.
Ronald Stacknell.
You know, they ought to employ you in the War Office, cipher department.
Oh, I'm used to it. I've seen it before.
Signature. Signature. Heather, get me the Wentworth Bank.
Won't it be shut?
Oh, curse it, yes, of course. Phone Jill Grainer right away.
Look, I thought the Tilsworth case was closed.
Just phone her, will you?
All right.
1119. 1119.
Oh, hello, Miss Grainer. I'm sorry to bother you again. Robert Shoesmith here. I'd like to see your aunt just once more, if I may.
I thought this business was finished.
Yes, it is, Miss Grainer, but if I could just see her...
No, I'm sorry. I can't allow her to be disturbed
Well,
again.
I shan't keep her very long. All I want is a specimen of her signature.
Signature?
That's right, Miss Grainer. I can be there within the hour. Thank you very much indeed.
No, it isn't possible. Now...
Heather, is Bob there?
We've just missed him. He's on his way to see Auntie again.
Again?
Mm.
What on earth is he playing at?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can help me. Remember that garage where Tilsworth puts his car?
Yes?
Can you give me the address?
Well, now, what are you playing at?
I just want to have a few words with Tilsworth, that's all. Come on, what's the address?
Well, it's the Macy's garage near the Marble Arch, and you're welcome.
Good, thank you.
Help you, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Tilsworth around.
Haven't seen him since early this morning. He came in, he left this, and I haven't seen him since. Don't know when to expect him either.
Oh, well, if you do see him, I wonder if you'd give him that card and ask him to give me a ring. Nothing urgent, just whenever he's got a moment, that's all.
Right, sir.
Good, many thanks. Here, can you open this?
Well, of course not. I mean, even if...
Yeah, I just want to take a look inside, that's all.
Oh, well, a quick butcher's all right, I suppose, but it can't be done. There's a special lock fitted to that.
A special lock?
Yeah, we did it ourselves. Mr. Tilsworth's instructions.
He tell you why?
We was transporting something valuable, he didn't say what.
Well, if you did the job, you must have a spare key somewhere.
Well, I don't know that I could just go and get a key like that. I don't know who you are.
Come on, matey.
I'll get it. I'll do it.
Well, it might be better if I did it.
I'll do it. More my job's worth if anyone found out that I was...
Hey, get the police. Auntie.
That's it. It's so obvious. It's so simple that I overlooked it. Tilsworth is sent down here by the bank to verify your aunt's new signature. Now, when he gets here, something happens to him. I don't know what. Quite inexplicable metamorphosis. I don't know. For years, he's been honest, plodding, respectable, but suddenly he sees an opportunity of acquiring wealth. The signature, don't you see? Tilsworth left here with Miss Sturgis's new signature, except that it was his own signature.
Oh, how could he hope to get away with it?
It's simple. He works in the bank. It's his job to attend to your aunt's affairs. He writes a check, signs it, presents it to himself, verifies it as her signature, and he's home. It's superb in its simplicity.
If it's true.
Well, we shall soon know, shan't we, when I compare her signature with those on the checks. Awake. Whose idea was it? Yours? Oh, yours, of course. It would have to be yours, the cool one. But not that first day, eh, Tilsworth? Something happened to you on that first day. What was it? Something strange? Yes, of course. The first woman you ever had. The only woman who ever said she cared for you. And you fell for it. Of course, she'd see to that.
Shut up, you...
She's used you.
No, we're in love.
Whatever passion she's shown you is counterfeit.
Shut him up, Harry!
Can't you see that, little man?
Don't let him talk to you like that!
No. That's something I need never hear again, little man. Never again.
You're going to kill me, Tilsworth. Like you killed poor Aunt Elizabeth. You did kill her, didn't you?
She was old and sick. It was merciful.
What did you do with her? Where'd you put her? Not here. The river, perhaps, or a secret grave
Harry!
somewhere. Hmm?
Yes.
Oh, that's clever. That's something else she's taught you, isn't it?
No! No, Harry, no, don't! No, not here. The garage.
Don't get up. Go on.
Yes, the garage. And then that car of yours with the special locks, eh? But just one thing. Just as a matter of interest, professional pride, you understand. The business with the checks. I was right, wasn't I?
Yes.
Oh, come on, Harry.
Oh, I was right. All along.
Yes, copper.
Oh!
Huh?
No, Ian, no, that's enough, that's enough. He's only a little man, Ian. Aren't you? Little man.